BBCT Sport.
Now, Middlesbrough's Glen Durrant was crowned the Founders Dart Masters champion after beating Martin Adams in the final in Holland by 5-2. It was Durrant's second title of the year after winning the World Masters Championship. I'm pleased to say that he joins me in the studio now. Evening to you, Glen.
Yeah, good evening, Rob. Thanks for the invite.
No problem, any time. Darts Masters champion, how does that sound?
Yeah, it's been a magnificent sort of few months. I thought the World Masters really topped off what was going to be a great year. The Founders Masters is a Dutch tournament which is live on TV over there, and it's excellent preparation for the Lakeside World Championship. So to have them two under my belt is it's a great feeling.
You're a bit in dreamland at the minute.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was. It's such a shock of what's actually happened in the past 18 months. I was just a run-of-the-mill player. Done a lot of my darts in the northeast. I've travelled a lot more now, and after the Martin Adams defeat sort of at the World Championships, there was a strong possibility my career could have gone downhill after that, but if anything, it's been a magnificent year.
What do you put that change in form down to then? Is there anything you can pinpoint and say that's the reason why, or is it just the way it's happened?
There's a couple of things. I mean, I couldn't get any more disappointed than losing the semi-final of the Masters last year when I missed the bullseye. The Martin Adams game, I won that, but simply my bottle went. It was just, the pressure was just incredible. But I did go away. I am working with a guy now with sort of the mental side of the game, and I just think it's more of a coincidence that I'm winning since I've been working with him. I'm definitely strong mentally, and when I do come to finish off a game, that's exactly what I'm doing.
So you beat Martin Adams in the final. That must have felt good after everything that happened beforehand with him in the past.
I've played Martin Adams 3 times, and 3 times he's beaten me. He really did break my heart last year, and to play him in a final once again, it was a little bit closer than the 5-2 scoreline. I was 3-2 up, and he missed a couple of darts at a double. But from then on, I sort of won the match quite comfortably in the last set.
So talk us through the tournament up to that point in the final and your journey to the final.
Yeah, I opened up against a guy from Latvia called Madaj Razma.
Well done, yeah.
I've been practicing there all day. And I had 109 average, which 36 average per dart, which in darting terms is like real top quality.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel that good because it was just a best of 11 game. But, my finishing was crisp. But that was only a part of the round robin. I had to then play Scott Waite, who's beaten me the last twice as well. So I was really looking forward to that game for many reasons, just to see where my game was so close to the World Championships. And to get past the former World Champion was really important. Then I moved into the quarterfinals where I played probably the real gentleman of darts from Wales. He's the Welsh captain called Martin Phillips. I like how the pace of the game when I play him. He's very quick. There's no games with him. He's just, if you can score higher and finish, he takes it right on the chin as well. He's a good guy. So I was delighted to beat him, and then moved into the semi-final where I probably played my best mate on the circuit, a guy I travel with, a guy I have social media banter with. So I didn't enjoy that game, but I did win that one 3-1, and I felt tremendous going into the Martin Adams game.
What's that like when you're up against somebody who you're so close with? Like you say, you didn't enjoy that. It must be really difficult because you both know what is on the line and what it would mean to the other person to win.
Yeah, no, I really did dislike the game. He makes playing on the BDO circuit very enjoyable. I spend more time with him. I share with him, travel with him, etc. There's a couple of guys, Jamie Hughes, James Huddle. They're the guys who they're very, very supportive. So to play him on that stage, knowing that it would be a real turning point for his career also. You've just got to, when you get on that stage, you've just got to remove those thoughts. And but it was my worst game of the week as well. I don't think that was any coincidence in that. So
did he shake? I'm sure he shook your hand afterwards.
He didn't in the last tournament. Yeah, I stood there on stage for a while holding me, and he tried to push me off the stage once as well. So it's but this time he accepted defeat well.
And in the final, I've got it written down here. There was 21 180s in the final. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing. Every time I hit a maximum, Adams would follow a one, and vice versa. I was shocked at the stat because it was quite a lengthy game sets. So there is the opportunity to hit plenty of maximums. But we do seem to bring the best out of each other as well.
And there has to be a lot said for keeping your composure at that as well, because you hit 180, he hits 180, and there must have been something in your mind that goes, what have I got to do to beat this guy?
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. It's certainly around about 3-2, and but it's all that mental side of the game I've been working on. I thought this is a real opportunity to start singing a song when I'm not throwing a dart, to start looking at someone in the audience. Just very, very simple things. I don't want to give too much away of what I'm doing, which is different. But I'm not studying the board when he's throwing as much, and it's important that your heart rate sort of stays the same. So just a few tricks I'm doing now, so to get through that. It did mean a lot, but I was thinking, I wish he'd stop this.
Yeah. It's funny you talk about the mental side and how important that is, because I know speaking to Graham Storm, Hartlepool golfer, and he was saying ever since he's kind of looked at and studied more the mental side of the game and the psychology that goes along with it, how his game is improved because of that. It just goes to show how big the mental side of it is. Yes, obviously the skills and everything you need, but also having the mind right is so important.
Oh, amen. It's just absolutely fundamental, that side of the game now. And I'd even say as a percentage, like 80% is in your mind. I still throw exactly the same as I did 10 years ago. My balance is really the same. It's very similar darts, but I'm more experienced and I'm definitely stronger in the mind. And sometimes you can go too far with the psychological side, so that it's none of this real hocus pocus thing of what I'm doing. It's just a guy who says the right things just before I play, and there's just a few things I'm doing in between the game which is different to what I've done previously.
I know you don't want to go too much into it, but it's that sort of thing then. It's in terms of basically not putting too much pressure on yourself and taking that, I guess, that mental break when you have the chance to. You mentioned not looking at the board as much and that sort of thing.
He contacted me and said after the game, after Adams, and he said, I could make you world champion. He saw.
That's quite an endorsement, that, isn't it? That's quite
he said, I kissed the Borough badge. I was come out of the pig bag, and I was living the whole Borough theme there. And maybe sometimes I've got to think of myself and the emotion on my face. I was giving so much away, and there's a wonderful photo of my shoulders drooping when Adams sort of levelled the match up, and my whole body language is telling Adams, I've won this.
Yeah.
So he hasn't changed an awful lot, but it's just that 5% extra that he's given me, which has changed things.
In terms of the body language, similar to poker, you can't give anything away, because the second you do, then, as you mentioned, your opponent, I've got him.
Yeah, and I'm rubbish at that game, so that probably tells
that makes
itself.
Two of us. That's
when
fine.
I've got a pair of aces, people know.
And that's your second title of the year now. That's obviously, as you mentioned, after winning the World Masters Championship. This has been an incredible year for you.
Yeah, I'm the BDO ranked number one, and really proud to say that. And I've won, I think it's 7 tournaments, 7 big opens, and when you think that there's up to 500 to 1,000 people in them competitions, and I've travelled wisely. It's been a little bit difficult with work. I still work full time.
Yes.
So a lot of my work has been in the British Isles and the Welsh Open, the Scottish Open, and I've concentrated on them rather than travelling to Belgium, to Holland, to Sweden, Norway. There's so many players doing that. I've focused on certain competitions and really performed in them.
So you're doing that. And we were speaking off air before we came on and saying how you still have your full-time job as well with Coast and Country. How difficult is that? Or for you, is that the ideal situation, being able to do 2 things that you love?
I've just said there off air to you, that my balance in my life at the moment is fantastic. If anything, I'd like to spend more weekends with my family.
Of course,
but people know that it's a dream of mine. And I'm as passionate about working for Coast and Country as I'm passionate about winning a major title. Yeah. And I don't want that balance to stop. People are telling me and advising me to go to the PDC and become a professional dart player. And I'll make that decision after Lakeside, but I'll do what's right for me. And the balance in my life today is fantastic.
So you mentioned there PDC and how so many people are, I imagine, on a daily basis coming up to you and go, Glen, you've just won another title. When are you going to give it your full time?
Yeah.
And What do you say to those people?
Well, I love social media. I love Facebook, Twitter, and that's the question. If I look at my phone, there's always a message from someone. But I'd say to people, don't be surprised if I stay with the BDO. The fact is, I'm their world number one, and it's nice to have. I could go to the PDC, and really, I could get swallowed up there because the standard is phenomenal. And if I am working full time and I'm practicing 1 hour a night, 2 hour a night, I can't be Van Gerwen, who's practicing as we speak now, the Phil Taylors of this world. Yeah. It's a huge jump. It's the championship to the premiership. Yeah. And do I really want to take that? If I don't do it now, I never will. At 45, 46, well, I don't even know how old I am. But
it's been a long week.
Yeah, it's been a long week. So it's it's a big decision, but I'll make that decision after Lakeside.
And mention the BDO. You've got the World Championships, which start 2nd of January. So You've had a busy week, as you say. Yeah. You're going into a busy Christmas as well. Are you gonna actually have time to enjoy Christmas at all?
Absolutely. Again, it's that balance again. I've got to make sure I'm doing things that is right as a husband and a father. But really, I said from December the 17th, I come home from work and it's close me in my dark room and it's 4, 5, 6 hours on the board a night. I'll prepare well. And I'll go there in the best possible form. I'm spending a lot of time in the North Hornsey Workmen's Club, and people from all over Cleveland and the North East are coming over to give me games. I'm spending 4 to 5 hours in there each day over Christmas, so please come and join me.
So you'll be putting the work in maybe just after the Christmas turkey?
Oh, yeah, definitely. that comes first.
Yeah, of course it does.
I've seen you looking at me belly there when you asked that question.
Hey, I said nothing. I said nothing. But that goes a long way, as somebody who juggles both things in a life where I imagine in a time where people expect you to do the opposite. It's one or the other. Yeah. You either do a full-time job or you're a full-time sports person, you're a professional at what you do. And for you to kind of go, well, no, I don't have to make a choice. I enjoy both. And there's no one says that. There's no rule that says I have to do one or the other.
I've worked in housing for 27 years and I want it to be 37 years. I want it to be 40 years. I love my job. Yeah. And, I love my darts. And, the decision's going to be huge. And do I want to throw a dart to pay for my mortgage? No, I don't. So the past
your hand will be shaking a lot more, won't it?
Of course it would, because it's more and more pressure. And you're playing against these young lads who are coming through now with no fear. Yeah. So there's lots and lots of things to take into consideration. I sit here now, though, very, very content.
And if you decided, that PDC wasn't for you and that you would stay where you were and you went on to have a absolutely fantastic career as you are at the minute, and when it came to putting the darts away, surely, just this year alone, you could look back and be happy with what you've achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I've got to sorry for agreeing for everything you're saying, but yeah, I will. I'm really, really proud of 2015, and I will look back. But I may also look back and think, why didn't I go to the PDC? Why didn't I test myself against the best week in, week out? Because I genuinely don't know how good I am. Can I live with these guys? And today I don't know if I can. Yeah. Will I look back in 10 years' time and think it was a mistake? So if you can imagine, the decision's going to be a really big one.
Have you put a timescale on that for yourself in terms of when you're going to make that decision? Or
the 24 hours after Lakeside finishes, I'll make a decision. I've got people running my affairs now as well, and I think they're desperate for me to go over the PDC, but they'll also acknowledge that it's my decision, and they'll back me if I remain in the BDO.
Well, Glen, we back you all the way, my friend. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you for that. Glen Durrant, who has so many titles, so many trophies in his cabinet now, he has to buy a bigger one.